crack? What's that bleeding story? Fucking great news today. Man City losing to Brentford. Relax, you mad bastards. Fucking relax. Sit down. Act cash. Act cash. Act cash. Jesus Christ, we need to settle down, everyone. Settle down. My God, my heart was racing. I thought the Man City game when Foden scored that and it was done and dusted. I says, that's it. They're going to kick on now and they're going to absolutely destroy Brentford. So at half-time, I went off to the shops, done a bit of shopping to get me grub in for the dinner. Next thing I'm in the butcher's and the butcher goes, Jesus, Del, yeah, Brentford are after scoring 2-1. I says, you're fucking winding me up, mate. You're winding me up. I had to bleed and check the phone and yeah, happy days. I'm bleeding buzzing. This is so fucking good for us. We're going top of the league. Come Christmas time, happy days. Still a long way to go. We need to wait now on Edu to do his job and all sorts of stuff like this. I'm praying he gets one or two players in. I'll tell you, if he does, we're doing well. We're going well. But as I said, act cash. We need to be sort of sliding along, going along, say nothing to no one, say nothing, you know what I mean? And next thing, people by the end of April going, who the fuck is on top of the league? How did they get there? Quick, get them. We don't want the likes of Liverpool and Man City getting upset, you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you one thing, they'll come right at us big time. And another person who's coming right at us is Manny. What's the bleeding story?
You know the bleeding story. We are top of the league. We will be top of the league at Christmas time. And now that you're in the building, the crack can begin. Del, wonderful to see you. And I just don't know what it is. It just goes to show that this season, it just proves that the Premier League is just so intriguing. It's so dramatic. You can't expect anything. You can't predict anything. And I'm also going to say one thing. You know, as much as we've benefited from a great deal of good fortune with all of these freak results going our way, I'm going to give some credit to us for doing everything we've had to do so far. And of course, for tonight's game against Wolves, I predicted a 3-0 win, which should be, straightforward. And this game's also going to be interesting because our attitude will be key. Because look, we're playing a Wolves team which is still pretty much now rooted to the bottom of the Premiership, with Forest and I believe Leicester having won. Southampton have gone back down after their defeat today. So our attitude today will be key. If we show a bad attitude, mind you, it could come back to bite us. I'm still predicting a 3-0 win, but again, this is going to be key and see to sort of determine how well we do. I believe if we draw, we will be 4 points, not 4 points, 3 points ahead of City, which is not really an advantage. So we need the win, because being 5 points ahead of City, that is a beautiful, beautiful cushion to have.
Oh, 100%. Like, come here. I don't know how are you getting the sort of encouragement that we'll win 3-0. My nerves are gone here now. I'm jittering. I'm fucking everything. You know, I know it's Wolves, they're on bottom of the league and all this sort of stuff, but new manager, all this sort of stuff, does that not sort of come into effect for you? Do you not, like, you know, does that not get you nervous? No?
Not really, no, because here's the thing. I mean, there are only so many teams, Del, that will benefit from a new manager bounce. And let's not forget that we're dealing with a Wolves team who are absolutely abysmal under Bruno Lage. I think they will still have Stephen Davis for this game, and Lopetegui will take charge later on. And to be brutally honest, I was never really a big fan of Lopetegui because, I mean, never mind the fact that he was never a success at Real Madrid. I believe he got sacked quite early. And of course, when he was manager of Spain at the World Cup, he didn't do quite well. He also was even sacked by Spain because he was too unethical for them. And that brought Luis Enrique into the job. So I really don't know what Wolves were thinking bringing Lopetegui in. Maybe he has a decent record of working quite well with smaller teams. I don't know. But I don't see that bounce coming. And especially considering the decline of players like João Moutinho, who has been dropped from Poland's squad for the World Cup, and a few others. There are several players in that team who simply aren't in good form. So I can be at least 60 to 65% confident of a win. But again, you know, this is a crazy league. If Brentford could go to the Etihad and beat Manchester City, with, you know, who knows what can happen. But I'll also say this. This might be karma in a way for City, because they thought that they could just wing it and get a win in the end. Boy, were they wrong.
Yes, yes. I'll tell you, sit down, Man City, and shut your fucking mouth. We're on top of the league, all right? Sit down, all right? We're in the driving seat. Put your seatbelt on in the back. I'll tell you that. And here, one of me mates, I'm going to me mates later on to watch the match. He's in the chat there. Put the champagne on ice. Del Boy's coming around. Get the red panties out as well. You know it, Jimmy Keane. All right. And here, I'm on the red lemonade. I'm taking me time, relaxing. I'll tell you one person who's on relaxing. He's on fucking overtime now. Warren's Team Talks. He's on since 2:30 today, banging out the results for everyone. How are you getting on? How did the show go, mate?
Mate, it was grand. It was brilliant. I loved it, every minute of it. That Spurs match was a bit of a madness. Like it was first of all was one team winning, then the other, then it was all level, and then Spurs scored 2 goals right at the death. So yeah. Absolute madness. Yeah, but mate, the league and 5 points clear comes to the 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah, relax the cacks. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. And please do hit the like and subscribe button and check Warren's channel out as well. And another fella, I haven't talked to this fella now in a while. What's the bleeding story, Nippon? How are you keeping, mate? I don't think he can hear me, or else he's ignoring me, are you? Can you hear us? No. Can you hear us? Can't hear him. We'll come. Warren, what are you predicting the score today in the Wolves game? What are you feeling?
2-1 Arsenal.
Not confident. Why are you confident?
I just don't see them causing us too much problems, because the new fella, I don't think he's taking charge in his game. I think he's just going to be sat in the stand. So I think we might have escaped their new manager bounce, which most teams tend to get. Whether they will get it or not, that's another question. But they had to do something, because that situation that they're in, they can't continue. Do you know what I mean? They're just, it's failing badly. So they had to do. I'm not surprised that he's gone after the start they've had, but
I suppose you couldn't blame them for getting rid of him. I didn't like him anyway, your man, that Wolves manager. I thought he was a bit of a fucking dickhead. And come here, I just want to second that what Craig is saying there. Once again, congratulations on reaching 300 subs. Well done, Warren. Fair play to you. It's not easy. Let's hope for another 300 easy enough in quick succession. Nippon, can you hear us now? And can we hear you? And what's the story? I think he's still frozen.
Yep, he's still frozen.
Say something.
Yep.
Celtic, 9 points clear at the top of the table, mate. Here we go.
I'll tell you now, this day is going too good. It's going too good. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but you know what I mean? As it says, I'm going round to me mates now in a while, and I'll be having a few beers. I'm going to put the phone aside. I don't want to be drunk YouTube, and it's not a good idea. Especially if we win, you know. But
I want to hear there's some classic old tunes coming out tonight, Del Boy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Danny Boy, the Fields of Athenry and all that.
Yeah. Del, you badly need to be drinking Grey Goose with that TK red lemonade. I got 5 on it. Yeah, exactly, mate. I'll tell you, I'll be fucking drinking champagne. I'll drink Prosecco, red wine, white wine, cheese tasting. Everything's getting done tonight. And come on, the Gunners. Telling you now, big time. Here's Paul's in the house. Big shout out to Paul.
Del,
go ahead.
Can you give that fella a shout out who was on the stream last night?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Martin is I'm going to try. What I'll do is I'll get his link and I'll put it in the description. And he does writing as well, like, you know, for a media outlet. His stuff is brilliant. Warren, you were talking to him last night on our stream. Martin, he's very educated. He knows a lot about Arsenal as well, and he directs and he writes short little films and stuff like that. They're absolutely brilliant. And he done a film about the 1979 FA Cup final. It was quality, and I'm highly recommend it. I'll put it in the link in the description when I'm finished this. And please do check it out. And I'll also, on Monday night, I'll be probably doing a video and I'll put a link in for his the bit that he does for his media outlet team. Big shout out to Paul as well. Thanks a million, Paul, for coming on last night. You're a bleeding real Arsenal one. Fair play to you, mate. A lot of till the football. Hi to everyone. Exactly, mate. People just saying hi as well. And I just want to go through a few of these because I haven't done me comments lately, like, replying to everyone, and I apologise for that. I'm just talking loads of shite lately. We're on top of the league and my head's all over the place. I've seen more potholes in Chelsea's defence than I have on the roads. Jesus, yeah, I'm not going to say it in there. Surprised that Kyle Gunner wasn't on last night. Show about Liam Brady. Yeah, do you know what? He was working late. Kyle was. I was actually talking to him today for a few minutes. He was working late, and I think he's back in work again tonight. And man, he's just saying big up everyone and thanks for joining. We're going round 2 with Nip on, the Chelsea supporter. How are you doing, buddy?
What's the crack? What's the bleeding story?
You know it. You know it. What's happening with Chelsea?
All I'm gonna say is that just give him one season. We haven't actually got a proper sport. We haven't got any personnel in of our own yet. It's right. It's just on. So he can't.
Think you're going there again, Nip on. You're bleeding. Yeah, lagging a bit. Yeah, I think you're going. Do you want to try and come back in or whatever? Just try that, see if it works for you. Can you hear us now? No, he's bollocks. He's on bleeding U2 settings, I think. Manny, who are you predicting to start tonight? Like, any surprises or anything like that?
No real surprises. I mean, we all know what he's going to do. He's going to go for the usual inverted left back. If it's not Tomiyasu, it'll be Zinchenko. It will be Ben White at right back. The usual duo of Saliba and Gabriel in the centre of the defence. And, of course, captain Gibraltar Guard will be starting, as Lee Gunner calls him. Same as you were, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus up front. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This has to be the game where, Jesus breaks his duck. So I don't see any changes. Because, look, we might be 2 points clear right now, but this is an opportunity for Arteta to make a statement and say, look, we need to go 5 points clear. And I don't know what motivational technique he uses, but he will find some way to get the boys motivated. So no surprises. It will be as you were. We have no injuries right now. If it isn't broken, you wouldn't necessarily need to fix it. And it hurts me to say this, but that means, again, Kieran Tierney will be on the bench. But, hey, at least he'll come on for his customary 15 minutes.
Hopefully, yeah. Paul is just saying, rushing about this evening, Man City, loads of money, shit football. Exactly. Me mate Anto's in the gaff. Anto, Herberto, what's that crack? Del boy. What's the bleeding story? I'll tell you what the story is. Arsenal winning 2-0, top of the league. You fucking heard it here first. Come on, Anto. Fucking real one in the house. Another real one in the bleeding house. What's the story, Brandon? What are we winning by today or losing?
We're gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league. I know you don't believe us. No, bro. We have to do our job today. We're not going to get a better opportunity to go 5 points clear in Manchester City. Let's be honest. So, yeah, we need to go into that World Cup break with a victory over Wolves, 5 points clear, give ourselves a little bit of breathing space, go and do a little bit of business in January, and hopefully we can secure the Premier League title for the first time in nearly 20 years. So, yeah, at the end of the day, there's still a long way to go. But so far, so good. So far, we have been the best team in the league. So far, we deserve to be there. So, yeah, it's all about that business in January. It's all about getting the 3 points tonight. And if we could do that, then we're in a strong position after the World Cup. And the belief is starting to grow in the fan base, mate. We're going to do it. Come on, the stars are aligning, boys.
Look, I'm not trying to rush ahead of myself. I'm agreeing with you. Let's sort of come back down to earth here as well a bit. because even if we draw tonight, the 3 points is not good enough at all. Because if we go to the Etihad, I don't fancy us to win there. It would be a hard game. Let's be honest about it. Will they beat us? Okay, if they beat us, we're drawn with them, and they have a better goal difference than us. And that can demoralise the squad. But if we go in 5 points ahead and lose that game, and then go to the Emirates and just fucking draw the game with them, keep them at fucking arm's length, relax. You know what I mean? Draw them. We're still 2 points ahead. You know what I mean? So it's such a big game this tonight, and that's why I'm a bit nervous. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a scrapey 1-0 or maybe 2-1. I think there's a goal in it. That's what my person. But I just, the way it's a Saturday night, we're live on telly. Everyone's looking at us now. Everyone's looking at us. We're top of the league. We've no excuses not to be 5 points ahead. And this is where I think the Arsenal sort of, oh shit, what do we do? And they blow their beans. Warren, do you have any sort of agreement with me there, or am I just fucking mad?
I agree completely, because we've seen over the years that when the pressure is on us, we have a tendency of crumbling. Now the pressure will be on to go 5 points clear. And Terry on the Football Terrace made a very, very good point earlier. Like, obviously this game means quite a lot anyway. But with the Manchester City result earlier, it means even more now, because it's a great opportunity for us to go 5 points clear. Now, before this game, a lot of the players would be thinking, we've got the World Cup coming up. I don't really want to get an injury, and maybe, play a bit within themselves and not really show the high level of performance that they've shown throughout the rest of the season because of the World Cup up and coming. I'm hoping and praying, and I'm pretty sure he will be like this as well, Arteta, because he doesn't seem like an easy guy to please. I'm hoping he's going up to them players and saying, look, you perform out of your skin today, because if you don't, I'm replacing you in January. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we are getting here to get a little bit of breathing space between us and the rest of the teams in the league. We need to win this game. And let's be honest, like Wolves haven't been that great this season. We expect to win this game. It's not like it's a Liverpool or a Chelsea or a top six side that we're playing here. This is a game that we expect to win every single year. So at the end of the day, we should be confident we could go out and get the job done. And like Manny was saying earlier, Gabriel Jesus has to be on his A game today, because a lot of things are being said about him at the moment. A lot of things are being looked at with the Arsenal fans with him at the moment, with him not scoring goals. Today is the perfect opportunity. Your old side has just lost. It's an opportunity to go 5 points clear of them. It's an opportunity for him to yet again prove a point to Pep Guardiola that he shouldn't have been sold. So if Jesus goes and scores a brace or hat trick tonight, or even gets the winning goal, then it screams out to Pep Guardiola that maybe he should have kept hold of him as well. So he also has a point to prove tonight. To us as well, the Arsenal fans, that he can, be our main focal point. Because at the moment, he started the season very well, and so far he's dipped off a little bit in terms of his goal scoring and his assist. Obviously, he offers us a lot more than just goals and assists, but goals and assists are very important if you want to be the main number 9 and focal point at a football club. So, it's a great opportunity for him as well. And by the way, just go out and sign Ivan Toney in January, Arsenal. Seriously, this guy, 12 goals now this season? He was absolutely brilliant again today. And Gareth Southgate, you look like a right muppet not taking him to the World Cup. Let's be honest.
Yeah, 100%. And it just shows you, like, good players like that can just go, do you know what? You didn't fucking pick me. Well, look what I fucking can do in the Etihad. So sit down, Gareth Southgate. You know what I mean? And this is top quality players. And these are the type of players that you want at Arsenal to go and win the league. We're under pressure. Jesus isn't scoring. It's 0-0. We're in fucking the Emirates. We're playing Man City. We have to beat them. Send on Ivan Toney. Bang. He's going to get you something. You know what I mean? Is Eddie going to get you something? The only thing Eddie's going to get you is a fucking cold or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a joke.
And
But
the thing is with Tony as well, he offers that different dimension. Do you know what I mean? Like Gabriel Jesus is very hold the ball up, bring others into play, blah blah blah. But like you say, we need that kind of player where, you know, maybe the game isn't quite going our way. A bit like Man City earlier, you know, they're drawing 1-1. They're struggling to create an opportunity because Brentford are defending so well. Chuck on Ivan Toney, he offers you something different. He's got a bit of strength, he's got a bit of height, a bit of physicality about him. He's the perfect player, you know, and he's finding the back of the net at the moment. So, you know, I've rated Ivan Toney for a good couple of years. Even when Brentford were in the Championship and they won the Championship that year, and Ivan Toney scored a bag full of goals. It's funny actually how things turn in full circle, because I originally suggested, I think it was the back end of last season, that Arsenal should go out there and sign Ivan Toney, and I got laughed at. And now all the Arsenal fans are saying, yeah, he's the perfect player. So, you know, my football knowledge can't be that bad, really, Dale, can it?
Yeah. Exactly, mate. I just want to actually just throw this across the screen here. I think it's going to come on. 1 second. Yeah. So check this guy out. He's on Instagram. He's my mate's son. And what he's doing is you can get any jerseys, retro kits, football kits, Formula 1 kits, basketball kits, GAA kits, everything like that, jerseys, retro jerseys, football boots and stuff like that. There's his the Football Factory 2. Check him out. He'll tell you, he'll sort you out seriously. You just go on Instagram and just check all this stuff. But anyway, Warren, what do you make of what Brandon was saying there? Are you like, you know, are you thinking Ivan Toney will do the job for us, or what are you thinking? Anyone else?
Definitely. I mean, we need a goal scorer. Like, we need a striker who's just going to get in the box and put the ball in the back of the net. Because I don't think that Jesus is the man. He's not going to score 20 goals a season. He never has throughout his whole career. I don't see why he would suddenly start now. And if he couldn't do it at Manchester City, where he was surrounded by world-class players, he's not going to do it at Arsenal. He hasn't got the same level player playing here, so he's going to stands to reason and logic that he's likely to score less here, unless we're playing a style of football that is more suited to him. But the problem is, I think Arteta wants to play a similar style to what Pep does. That's the thing. And I just do not think that he's never, ever in his career, like, been a prolific goal scorer. So unless the idea is that he creates opportunities for others to score the goals, then I just do not see it happening. We need, in my opinion, another guy up front with him, which would mean changing the formation. But if it means we win the title, then I'm all for it. I mean, because let's be honest, Odegaard's not offering much, is he? So we could do without him. The way we're playing, I just do not see what he brings to the party. To be honest, I think we could do without him, because most of the time he's a passenger. I don't see him creating lots of chances for other players. So, yeah, we could sacrifice Odegaard and put another striker up front with Ivan Toney. I don't see that would be a problem.
Yeah, like I was reading there, Tillemans is still sort of floating around. Is he the answer, Mane, or, like, you know, is there anyone else that you think?
Yeah, listen. If you're asking whether we could sign Tillemans as, you know, someone like a winger who could, you know, compete with the likes of Odegaard and whoever, then yeah, he could be. But as a central defensive midfield cover, no, he's not the answer, because that's simply not the position he plays in at Leicester. And don't get me wrong, there's no doubt that he's talented. But I've been speaking to a few people, specifically Stephen Stubbs from the Statman channel and his mate Glasgow John. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Just got a drink.
Okay.
And both of them have been telling me that the reason why they wouldn't touch Tielemans with the 10-foot pole is because they consider him to be quite lazy as a footballer. So, I mean, obviously, maybe their standards are perhaps a little bit higher. And the only issue that I have is that he would be an asset, but would Arteta really be willing to drop one of our wingers to fit him in the team? Would he be willing to drop Odegaard, for instance, because Tielemans offers so much more? And when you see Tielemans play, obviously, just however much he offers, it is good to watch. Whenever he's motivated and playing really well, he is an asset. The only problem is, I just don't know where he would fit in, and I don't think he would feel comfortable being shoved into that CDM role because, look, we don't need another square peg in a round hole. We've already got one with Ben Wise at right back, who I will admit has been doing well. We don't need another one. And then shoving Tomiyasu in at left back, no, we don't need that. So unless we're willing to guarantee him first-team football, and unless Arteta's really willing to promise him that he will have a proper role to play in the team rather than simply warming the bench while Gibraltar Guard gets to play all the games, I don't know if we can just buy a luxury player to keep on the bench like that. So no. And don't get me wrong, he would be good if maybe Saka gets an injury because I'd sooner put him on the pitch instead of Reece Nelson. But then, I just don't know if that will happen. I don't even know if Arteta necessarily rates him, in fact, because as much as Arsenal might want him, Tielemans seems to want to come to Arsenal more. I just don't know if it'll really, really mesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time. Just going back to the match tonight, like you guys are obviously confident and stuff like that. I'm not sure if Diego Costa is available, if anyone can tell me, but like Jesus Christ, if he is, he doesn't mind scoring against us and upsetting us. Warren, you're smiling there. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I do. I'll be worried if he plays. I know he's getting on a bit, but it'd be a handful. Because he just enjoys playing against Arsenal because he usually ends up bullying our centre backs. I don't think he'll bully William Saliba. No,
yeah.
I think Saliba's strong enough to deal with him, and I don't think that he will bully your fella next to him. God, what's his
Gabriel.
name? Yeah, Gabriel. But what worries me about him going up against Gabriel is that he'll end up getting Gabriel sent off.
Well,
he's got that side to his game. He's got that side to his game. He's a master of the dark arts, and I'm not too sure we're that good at doing the dark arts, and whereas he is, and I could see him getting Gabriel sent off. I really could, because I don't think he'd be able to out-muscle him, but I reckon he'd end up winding Gabriel up and Gabriel would snap, and that would be it. It'd be seeing red. I really could see that happening.
Like, isn't it mad the way we have the defense like that? Gabriel is sort of a loose cannon sometimes, and Saliba is just so cool. He's relaxed, he's calm. You know what I mean? You trust him at the back, and the goalie. It's good for the goalie to have that trust in your centre halves as well. And this is what it comes down to when we're playing the Man City game. It's going to be huge, and Sky and fucking whoever else are going to make this the biggest game ever. The usual what they do. The pressure's going to be on us big time, and then we have Haaland up front. Can Saliba manage him, realistically? Because no other defender has really this season, out of the few games that we've played. Do you think he can do it, Manny?
Brentford stopped him.
Who did?
Brentford,
yeah, that's fair enough. But the moral of what I'm saying is that there hasn't been many, and on your off day, we're done. Do you think Saliba would be comfortable with him, Manny?
I'm pretty certain he would be. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to be, not comfortable, because, both Warren and I have basically agreed on Saliba that, the qualities that he's shown ever since coming into the team, he's pretty much shown that he's the world-class defender that we've been lacking for many, many years. I can't even recall the last really good quality central defender we had. It might have been Sol Campbell. It could have been Kolo Toure. I never rated Laurent Koscielny among others, but and even now with Gabriel, he's had a decent start this season, but I think maybe he might be suffering from, I don't know, second season blues or whatever. I'm not too sure. But Saliba's just come in and been an absolute rock. And the reason why, for me, he's my player of the season, if we're going to come to that later on, is that while Partey and Xhaka have done well, they've been at the club for quite some time. So this is effectively Saliba's first season. And again, we're going to see in the World Cup, if he starts under Deschamps, how he will deal with a lot of really top quality players there. I believe in France's group are Denmark, Australia, and Tunisia. Not too sure who Australia have as their forward, but Denmark will surely have some good centre forwards of their own. So how he performs in the World Cup, if he gets to play, will certainly determine how well he will handle Erling Haaland. I mean, I know that Haaland's Norwegian, and so not that kind of Scandinavian, but I certainly, again, wouldn't put it past him. And certainly as well, it's going to be a tactical matchup as well, because let's not forget, Arteta, of course, is Pep's protege. So he might know almost all of the tricks in Pep's book, as it were. And although Pep still does have a pretty good record over Arteta in the Premiership, when it almost mattered, you could say, we did beat them in the FA Cup en route to that FA Cup win. So this is going to be interesting to see how well Arteta does. And so far this season, tactically, he's done really well with a few exceptions, Manchester United being one of them. I think he's going to look to try and study Pep's players very well and see what type of style would suit them. Again, Pep's going to stick to the 4-3-3. So Arteta's going to be challenged to try and attack that 4-3-3 any which way. How does he get his midfielders, for example, to win that battle? And so the battle between Haaland and Saliba, I think Saliba will hold his own. It's Gabriel about whom I'm quite worried.
Yeah, like, it's a pity that this World Cup, it's just typical our luck, I suppose. Like, that the World Cup is coming when it is, and we lose momentum, basically, I suppose, is it a good thing that Man City lost today, having that loss over you for the whole Christmas and then having to come on and bounce and hit the ground running again? What does he need to do at the end of this, Arteta, to get the players bouncing back? There's obviously going to be a few upset players from, they all can't win the World Cup. There might be one player in there who's a World Cup winner, but what will Arteta have to do to pick these players up? We don't want this whole Saka thing, what happened in England in the Euros the last time. We don't want that Saka coming back and taking them a few weeks or months to come back and hit the ground running. What do you think, Warren? Like, do you think this breakaway is good, or team morale and all this shite, or what do you think?
I have to be honest, mate. I'm not convinced that many of them really care that much. Certainly the England players don't. I honestly don't. And won't be a bit surprised to see a lot of these international games being really drab, boring, because I reckon the clubs will be telling them, go and play for your country, that's fine. But I don't want to see you putting in 100% effort. At the end of the day, the clubs pay their wages, and I'm convinced that this has happened before at World Cups, where the international teams have gone out and their players have been told, we pay your wages. We don't want you going hell for leather to try and win. All right. And I certainly believe that will be the case with the England players. They've also got a lot of them, like, if you speak to top draw players, like top quality players playing the Premier League, if you ask them what's more important to you, winning the Champions League or the World Cup, 99% of them are going to say the Champions League, right? So, they're going to be sitting there thinking, particularly the ones that are in the Champions League, they're going to be like sitting there thinking, I don't want to be picking up an injury. I'm going to go back into the Premier League. And we've got a great chance of qualifying for the Champions League for the first time in God knows how many years. I don't want to miss out on that, because if they get, say, Saka gets injured playing for England, and it's a bad one, he could be out for 2-3 months minimum. And with Arsenal, it's always twice as long as it is for any other club. Any other player, if they're out for 3 months at any other club, you can guarantee it'll be 6 months or a season injury for Arsenal. So I'm just not convinced that many players have put that much of an effort in, particularly ones that are playing in the Premier League for their countries. I just can't see it happening, because the clubs pay the wages, they got qualifications for Champions League, Europa League up for grabs, and they ain't going to want to miss out on it. And, you know, their managers will be laying down the law to them. I'm convinced of it. They won't admit it publicly, but I bet you that's what happens.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I just want to read Craig's comment, make you mod. I'm not sure how to do it, mate. I don't even know how I done Mane as that. I remember clicking on something before. I'm on the laptop, so I'm just trying to get used to this. Do you know Mane?
Yeah, listen, I actually did. I don't, to be honest, maybe it sort of automatically happens because I've been coming on your channel regularly. But in any case, listen, that moron has been dealt with. I put him in timeout. His comments will be hidden, and he will not be bothering us anymore. So you're most welcome.
Job done.
Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, no, I'm just. Is there any score in the Chelsea game yet? Does anyone know where?
Yeah, I'm actually watching it right now, but I am hiding it strategically with my head so you don't get copyrighted. Yeah.
Yeah.
No goals as of yet. And of course, if I have to get up, I will strategically switch off my telly. So yeah. And I think let me just, if I may, I will let you ask your question to me, but I'm going to just piggyback off what Warren has said. The issue of possibly of whether or not players will want to give it their all in this World Cup, I think that also might be dictated by the fact that at least, whenever we've had tournaments at the end of the season, we'd always have something like a 2-month or so break before the season would resume. Here, the tournament's going to end just before Christmas, and a week afterwards, we are going to have the Boxing Day tournament. So what Warren has said about certain players not being inclined to give it their all, that could certainly play some part in certain countries. But I think it's also quite fair to say that when it comes to a lot of the other nations, like let's take a look at Brazil and Argentina, for instance. For those nations, mind you, performing at the World Cup is more or less the bare minimum. And certainly in Argentina's case, after their second round debacle in Russia, they've pretty much put a lot of their eggs into Argentina going almost all the way, especially given that it's Lionel Messi's last World Cup. And I'm pretty certain that in addition to possibly incurring the wrath of their managers at club level, I'm also not too convinced that some of those leading footballing nations will be very eager to, incur the wrath of their fellow countrymen and maybe their coach, because certainly if teams fail to do well over there and the fans also notice that the players aren't putting in that effort, they will certainly notice. And certainly with England as well, I take Warren's point that maybe our players shouldn't really care that much. But having said that, we were semi-finalists in the World Cup in Russia. We were finalists, of course, in the Euros. So I think sometimes football fans will also be smart enough to know when players are truly putting in their effort, or whether they're just, taking the mickey and trying to, avoid injury so that they will be fit for their club season. And it's worked both ways now, with players trying to not put in so much of an effort in order to not get injured and muck up their World Cup opportunities. So it might pretty much go both ways. I'm pretty certain that, the players will and the managers will find a way to sort of strike that balance, if you will, and make sure that the players will perform quite well. This is why we have a squad, you see. If Saka gets injured, you bring on someone like a Grealish or a Maddison, or vice versa. So I'm sure the managers will find a way, but I also think that the managers will be smart enough to tell the players, you should put in some effort, but we're going to try and protect you, hopefully. And I hope Southgate has a plan for Saka.
And I suppose, look, I have to say this to you, right? I hope you seen me video the other night where I was sort of the England squad. I hope you didn't take offence to that, or you know me, it's just me.
Dale, you and I go back some way. The one thing I will never ever do, mate, is take offence at you in any way. You and I, we're thicker than thieves. We might be separated by time zones, if you will, but our bond is even stronger. And thanks to the wonders of YouTube and StreamYard, we are always connected. We're always on the same wavelength. I will never ever take offense to you. I will never take offense to anything Warren says or Jez says to me or anyone says to me, because we're all in this together. We all want the same things, and we all have nothing but love and respect for one another.
Exactly. And I'll just answer a few of these questions here. Madison got hurt. England bring in someone else. Yeah, Eddie Nketiah. Eddie's coming for you. And I want to give this guy a big standing ovation. Mr. B's in the gaff. My mate. What's the story? He done us a big favour. Big up Dell and panel. Well, we have done our part, lads. We beat City for you again. The mighty Ivan Toney with a double, who the Wally Southgate has ignored totally. Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. Like, you know what I mean? I was just saying it earlier on. It just shows you the type of player that he is. You know, he had a chip in his shoulder going into the game. One of the best teams in England for the last few years, and he's scoring them goals. You know what I mean? That's top quality. That's what I want at Arsenal. I know you don't want to hear that, but unfortunately, I do. You know.
And if I could just say something, Del, Ivan Toney is the bee's knees.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. A bit less rushed around now. So for the millions of Gunners around the world, whether Arteta in or out, let's stuff Wolves, shut the moaning media up, and have a jolly good Christmas on top of the league. Exactly, Paul. I couldn't have put it better myself, mate. The Magpies, go Magpies. Bayern Munich, man, yeah, I'm just reading a few of these out. Hope I didn't miss any. Sorry. Sons, how's they? What's this? Jeez, these keep flying in. Sorry. I would like to be a mod as well, Del. Yeah, of course, guys. You, Craig, 110%. I'm going to try and suss it out during the week because, as I says, I got a new camera. I'm on the laptop. I was doing it on the phone. So once I get used to that, 100% you guys are definitely on board. Tony Southgate, where are you? Jay, what word price for Maddison? Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Warren, what would you think of that? James Ward-Prowse, if Maddison is injured for the World Cup. And hopefully he's not injured for the World Cup, because I do like him. He is a great player. And I love his honesty, you know what I mean? So, James Ward-Prowse, I definitely, yeah, if I was an England fan, I'd want that. What do you think, Warren?
Yeah, I agree with you. If I was an England supporter, I'd want to see James Ward-Prowse going in for James Maddison. 100%.
Yeah.
I think if James Maddison don't go, I think that's going to be a bit of a blow for England, to be honest.
Yeah, big time. He might be okay. Yeah, I think he did get a knock today. I'm not 100%. But yeah, I hope he's okay, because it's bad. Like, you know, these players missing out on the World Cup. Like, you know, I'm sure these boys have been dreaming about this for years and years. Like, you know, and especially coming up the last game before you go on the plane to the World Cup and you get injured, I'd say it's sickening, you know. And I hope he's okay. And also, I hope Melina as well is okay. Manny, do you have an update on her?
Yeah, I've checked Twitter, and apparently, the good news is that the fluid has been drained out of her lungs, but her oxygen capacity is a little bit low. And obviously, her condition is still very serious. It is heartbreaking for the family, because someone so young shouldn't have to go through that. But she's still fighting for what we know, and all we can do is offer her our prayers and hope that she will pull through. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please God, hopefully we're praying for her. Hope she gets through. Mr. B, if any of our strikers get injured, Tony should get the call. Well, yeah, without a doubt. You know what I mean? And
I think he's the perfect type of player to bring in because he'll have a chip on his shoulder and he'll want to prove to Gareth Southgate and the coach, England coaching staff, why didn't you guys pick me? Well, I'll show you now. You know what I mean? Definitely. Tony, amazing and best pen taker though. Yeah, he is. He is. I just love his attitude. You know what I mean? And he is the type of player that Arsenal can, like, you know, he pushes over the line big time. I'd love to have him today. You know what I mean? A game like today in Wolves, you know what I mean? It's going to be their crowd, their fans are going to be up for this. You know what I mean? Top of the league. Arsenal, top of the league. Let's beat them. You know? Go ahead, Warren.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, what I like about him was at the beginning of last season, before the season started, I saw him being interviewed on TV, and they said to him, "What's your target for the upcoming season? You're new into the Premier League. What do you want to achieve?" He says, "I want to win it."
Oh, Jesus. That's a
and that
job.
sums it up. That's the sort of mentality that I want to see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, none of this bloody, the aim's top four. The aim's the Europa League. Win a cup. Something like, no, go and win the title. You know, and I when I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's the attitude that you need to be having.
Yeah. Yeah, and here, this is it, Wolves v Arsenal, top v bottom, exactly. I like, you know, as I says, I'm going for probably a 1-0 or a 2-1 win. You know, if I'm predicting a goal scorer, I'm going to go with Jesus. I think he's going to break his, like, you know, his bad patch. Let's say, probably, like, you know, he'll get rid of the bad patch, score the goal, and then he has to stop for the World Cup. But for the Brazil squad, it's not bad having him coming in top of the league, as well as Martinelli, top of the league, and, you know, good chance of winning the World Cup with Brazil as well. Just want to ask you, Warren, I think I've asked you this in the last 3 streams I've done, and I want to ask you again. And it's about your favourite player, Tierney. Will he start today?
No.
Would you start him?
I don't think he will. Mate, I think in January he'll be gone.
Whoa.
I do, because I don't think Arteta rates him. You're playing a right back who's a guy who plays right back in our team who is a centre back, and you're playing him at left back ahead of a world-class left back. What the hell's going on? Seriously, what's going on? Why are you not playing him? It just don't make any sense. Unless he's managing his minutes, or he thinks that he can't play twice a week. I just don't get it. I just think it's unbelievable, and I think it's really disrespectful. And if I was Kieran, I would have asked for a transfer by now, because to me it's clear as day that he doesn't rate him. And you know, like I've said before, I know that Pep likes him. I know that Carlo Ancelotti likes him, and if he was available, both of those managers would snap Arsenal's hands off to get him. They would.
Yeah.
You imagine him lining up in that Real Madrid side.
Yeah.
You know, I can just imagine him. He'd be like Roberto Carlos back in the day, storming down that flank, like whipping in crosses, and the man who's up front now for them, Benzema, benefiting from his crosses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd actually have a field day, but some manager don't rate him.
Obviously, we don't want to, like, you know. But I suppose, you know, Arteta could probably say, "Well, fight for your position." You know, we're on top of the league. We're going for the league. Are we going for the league, Manny? Are we going for the league now? Like, is it? This is a title challenge now. Like, I know we're top of the league and stating the obvious, Dale, but there's still a lot of games to go. There's still a lot of games. Can we be in with a shout come April, May?
We should give it a good go. There are no excuses. The only thing which I find silly is how Arsenal fans are happy to celebrate, being top of the table, but also having the mentality that top 4 is enough. It's like, as we say back in the UK, they want to have the penny and the bun, if you know what I mean. And this is the time right now when we have to when the team has to focus its energies on, staying fit, in good form, cutting out any mistakes, and making sure they maintain their title charge, while also at the same time staying grounded and making sure they tell fans who are gassing them up about potentially winning the league or finishing top 4 to please put a lid on it, wind their necks in. Because let's take a look at Leicester. If they were willing to stay grounded, not even make any noises about winning the title in 2016 until very near the end, when practically all of their hardest tests were done and dusted, why can't we have that same approach? Why can't we, as a team, lead the way in saying, look, we need to take it one game at a time. We are not going to gas ourselves up. And as fans, you shouldn't gas us up either. So that's the approach we have to take. And I think Arteta now also has a job to do to make sure that he doesn't get his players too excited, that he doesn't get too excited himself. Because, of course, with a Manchester United-Newcastle connection, I'm sure we all remember Kevin Keegan's famous "I would dearly love it if we beat Manchester United this season" comment. And the smile on Warren's face tells me that he remembers that well too. We all know what happened. We cannot allow ourselves to get carried away, and it starts with the manager and continues with the players.
Yeah, exactly. Warren, what's a successful season at this point for you?
Winning the league and winning the Europa League. If he doesn't win the league, he's got to go. And certainly if we don't get top 4, if we don't finish in the top 4, not that I'm bothered about finishing the top 4, but if he doesn't, he has to go. And to be honest, Del, I'd sack him now. Because I would, because his track record is shocking. The last 3 years have been an absolute nightmare. He's proven himself not to be any good at managing players. He's proven himself to be tactically inept. When the push comes to shove and the pressure goes on, he can't handle it. Look what he did in that Europa League semi-final against Villarreal. He completely messed it up. He played a formation the team had never played before, and we ended up getting stuffed 2-1. And then when we came back to the Emirates and we're looking for a goal, he takes off the club's leading goal scorer and blings on a player who hadn't scored for months. It's just insanity. Who does that? Seriously, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's like if you had a a faulty light, if you had a light bulb goal, you wouldn't replace it with one where the filament had gone, would you? Do you know? It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy.
But
and I have no confidence that he's not gonna do something crazy like that again. And then he's doing this thing with Tierney. What the hell's that all about? World-class player in his position, probably either the best in the world or second best in the world in his position, and he's not getting a game. I just can't work it out. It just does not make any sense. So, no, I'm sorry. If it was down to me, he'd be out the door tonight, because the money that he spent, we should have been in this position 2 years ago. But we haven't been, and that's down to him because of his mismanagement and the owners as well. And that's another issue. Don't get me started about them, because I'm not convinced that they want us to win the league, but that's another for another day. But
I suppose, Warren, just to sort of counteract your comments there, to be devil's advocate or whatever you want to call it, like, is he not learning from his mistakes?
No, he hasn't done since he's been here. When has he shown any willingness to learn from his mistakes? The fact that he's upset over 17 different players since he's been here shows that he hasn't. You don't upset that many players and not learning. Well, after the first 3 or 4, you'd sit there and think, yeah, something's not going right here. What am I doing wrong? And then learn from your mistakes. The fact that he's done it to 17 different players tells me that he's incapable of learning.
I think you've a chip in your shoulders. You have a chip on your shoulders. Enjoy the ride.
No, I mean, I'm enjoying the fact that we're top, but this should have happened. Let's be honest, it should have happened 2 years ago. And if Unai Emery had been given the backing this manager has, we would have won the league by now. We would have. We would have won the league, and I'm convinced we would have won the Champions League as well. This guy, I'm sorry, I just don't think he's all that. And people going on about him being a tactical genius, I think that's an absolute joke. He's not. With £400 million spent, I would expect you and I to go in and have success. I mean, 400 million spent, and we're still short. It's a fucking shambles. How can you spend that amount of money and have a squad that's so wafer thin as what ours is? Where's the money gone? What's he spent it on? It's just unbelievable. Sorry, mate. I think it's ridiculous. I do.
Think it's gone on his hair gel. That's what I think it's gone. Just go free, mate. Go free. You know, I just want to read out the Chronicle. Good evening, Evan. What's the story? Arsenal need to win. No excuses. Make sure you're clear into the January window. Exactly, man. 100%. And check out the Chronicle. He's a bleeding legend. He is. But it makes sense to me. We top of the league. Exactly. Didn't care about the LC enough, which you're now out of. The arrogant prick should be gone. There you go. You've Mr. B on your side as well. And Warren, Vicky's laughing at you. She's not happy. She's not impressed. And even the Man United fans aren't impressed at you, Warren. You're getting death threats now and all.
God help me.
yeah. You're in trouble.
Yeah, what a bunch of cowards you all are, thinking that you can attack senior citizens, huh? You want to attack someone your own age and your own size. Shame on all of you.
Kroenke's winning non-stop, winning Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, now the English Premier League, and Denver Nuggets look rather great too. Exactly. The Kroenke's, I don't know. What are we giving out about us Arsenal fans? We're always fucking moaning. Chill out.
No, but here's the thing. I think Warren will also back me up on this, because we remember saying that when Kroenke came and bought the club, he made it crystal clear that he did not buy Arsenal with the intention of winning trophies. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's bear in mind that in 2021, that Europa Cup win could very well have sent us a long way. It could have brought us a European trophy. It could have gotten us back into the Champions League, albeit by the back door. But, I mean, beggars and borrowers can't be choosers. But, that would really have been good for us. So why Arteta would have, mucked that up with the false 9 in the first leg and Aubameyang for Willian for Aubameyang in the second, I just don't know. And there will definitely be some truth to what Warren said in that stream that day, and I still remember that very well, sir. But one more thing I will also say about Arteta, and I will piggyback on what Warren says, is that every manager can make mistakes, but I've also never really noticed at any point in time Arteta being willing to stand up and say, look, I got it wrong, and I'm sorry. Managers make excuses all the time. You'd like to see him at least once, do that. And certainly the Tomiyasu for Tierney experiment pretty much showed me that he believes his own hype as this sort of tactical genius. He thinks of himself as far more clever than he actually is. Because although the Tomiyasu experiment worked against Liverpool, I think against Leeds, he looked like a duck out of water on many occasions. And so you can't keep, forcing that experiment because you truly believe in it. It's as if it's bad enough being a square peg in a round hole. It's as if Arteta's the hammer trying to hammer that peg into the hole, if you know what I mean. So we do have issues with Arteta. We remember all the issues in his first full season when things went so pear-shaped that I believe, had we lost another home game, the board would also have finally shown some, testicles and decided to get rid of him, because that time we couldn't even buy a home win in the league. And we also remember, we had a golden opportunity to secure the precious top 4 that everyone wanted, and we bottled that despite having a points advantage in games in hand. So we remember all of that. This season, just because we refuse to take anything for granted and refuse to celebrate anything unless unless everything is over, that doesn't make us false fans, and that doesn't necessarily make us, toxic vermin who just don't like Arteta, who have an agenda against him. No. I mean, of course, we can see what he's trying to do, but we also see what he didn't do in seasons gone by. So, look, we have a right to reserve judgment on him, and I think, as Darren Sullivan would say, it's not so much Arteta out as jury out, but it all comes down to the end of the season. I always say it. It's as simple as that. If he doesn't succeed, the way he promised he would succeed, out you go.
Well, I'm the same as Darren at the minute. Look, I don't give a fuck about Arteta. Arsenal are on top of the league, and that's all I care about. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. I just want to go through a few of these comments here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Vicky. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're on the red wine. She's on the red wine Saturday night. I'll be joining you now in a few minutes myself. What everyone spends, that's nearly everyone nowadays. Warren, Arsenal squad is not as thin as United squad. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Like, United need a bit of a rebuild there, all right. But I think Ten Hag is going to be a really good manager for you guys. Obviously, given time, you know what I mean? Unfortunately. But you never know. In the next 2 years, it could be Man United, Arsenal battling for the title again. And I fucking hope it is, because there's a lot of United bastards around me. And my pub that I drink in is opening back up soon. And I tell you, all of you that fucking watch me and that are local to me, I'll be fucking in the pub giving that bleeding loads. You know I will. I always fucking do. Mad bastards. Anyway, what's this? Whitburn, good evening. Nice one. Vicky. Everyone's saying hello to Vicky. Moss Winter, 19. I don't know what that means. Big up to Niall, the upper tier. What's the crack, Niall? Lucky escape today. 3-1. There was a bit of a jittery time where it went 1-1. I'd say you were a bit nervous then. I'm going to read out these other few comments here. I went to it, Baku. Oh, you went, yeah, Azerbaijan to lose to the Giroud Chelsea. Yeah, that I was watching that in the Arsenal Supporters Club in Dublin. Built so high to come down so low. I was actually gutted. Warren, where's your Xmas spirit? Come on, top of the league and playing some great football. Yeah, Warren, do you know your new name is Warren Scrooge?
It's not Christmas yet. It's not Christmas till December.
I'm sure Paul's only messing with that. Paul's a good guy. My father-in-law is about to spend $90,000 US on a new Ford F350 for work. Money isn't really saying much nowadays, to be honest. Wow, I know exactly what that is, and that's a quality machine. Nice Del boy. I go for Arsenal United rivalry again. Yes, I'm telling you now, 100%. I'll tell you, I'll be meeting up with all the United supporters, ringing them. I'll put them all in a group, and I'll be in the group on my own. You can all slag the bollocks out of me. I don't care. I'm well able for it. What does 87 denote? I don't know what the hell the boys are talking about here. Paul 87 was the year I started supporting. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Billy Bingham special Tuesday night with you lads. Yes, exactly. And that's what I want to say before we go wrap it up and stuff like that. A big night on Tuesday night. Do you want to talk about that, Warren, before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say something about a comment that someone put in before I do.
Yeah.
Someone's put a comment in here saying you can't support this young manager. He's top of the league, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Well, he hasn't achieved anything yet. He's won one FA Cup, upset 16 players, bounced out numerous players inappropriately. So, no, I'm not backing him. Not until he actually wins something of note, like a Champions League. Let's not forget, he said he was going to win the Champions League within 3 years of being here. Those 3 years are almost up, and he hasn't even qualified for the damn thing yet. So, no, I ain't backing him. He doesn't deserve backing. As far as I'm concerned, I'd sack him tonight. Right. So, on to Tuesday night, we're having a debate, a group of Irish football fans, Del Boy and Carl Walsh-Gunner, Niall from Upper Tier, and Manny, and going to be talking about the greatest ever island side of players, comprising players from north and south of the border, It's going to be absolutely epic, and I can't wait personally to see what side they come up with. They're also going to come up with a manager for the team and also a subs bench. So that's going to be epic, and I'm sure it's going to get heated at some point. That's for sure.
Here, you'd be starting fucking civil war in Ireland again. Warren the Scrooge starting civil war in Ireland.
Oh, mate. I'm telling you, it's going to be brilliant. So make sure you check that. It's going to be on my channel, Warren's Team Talk, 8:15 on Tuesday.
Yeah, please do check it out. Like and subscribe this channel. Like and subscribe to Warren's as well. Warren's Team Talk, please do. And I have to show me mates take. Now I'm gonna try and say this. I'm just saying, Gav, you bastard, say this 3 times quickly, Dale. Now fuck off, but I'll do it for you, right? Imagine an imaginary manager managing balls. I'm out of balls of it already. Imagine an imaginary manager managing an imaginary manager. Ah, jeez, did I make a balls of that? Manny, you say it. You're good at all.
Let me try it. Okay, imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie.
Legend. Warren, do you want to give it a go?
Yeah, and imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. That is Mikel Arteta.
Fuck you, Gav. He's always bleeding at me, Gav. You know when he messing me. David O'Leary, Liam Brady, Del Boy, Warren, great show, fellas. Respect. Yeah, respect to you guys. Everyone that comes in the channel. Big up, Gav. Money mess with you. Great crack. I love this. You know what I mean? Mane on fire. Exactly. Yeah. Well done, Mane. Well done. Holy shit. Sorry, hold on. Holy shit, Mane. You need a rap deal with the skills.
Gavin, I do drop a few bars, so listen. Maybe you join in the stream sometime. I'll drop some for you right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we might write a Christmas song. Yeah, and guys, just before we go, remember to check out see the Football Factory too on Instagram, and check out. He has a list of everything that he does. Check them out. Seriously, great price and all that stuff. I'm not getting any merch or anything like that, so it's nothing to do with me. So don't be bleeding, ringing me or texting me saying, Del Boy, I'm after getting this jersey and it's too small for me son. I got a size 10, but he's actually 21. Bleed, not my fault, you know what I mean? So for fuck's sake. But anyway, hit the like button and smash the subscribe button and check out Warren's as well. And check us out. We'll be all on Tuesday night on Warren's channel. It's going to be bleeding brilliant. Niall is going to be on it from the upper tier and stuff like that as well. Gentlemen, thanks a million. Anything coming up, Manny, on your end or anything you want to shout out?
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, of course, is the World 2020 cricket final between England and Pakistan. It will be a repeat, of course, for all our cricket fans in the chat of the 1992 ODI final, played at the same venue with the same 2 teams. Of course, Imran Khan had the measure of Graham Gooch's boys, but this time around, I'm going for Jos Buttler to bring Babar Azam down to earth. And that match, of course, will be starting, I believe, at 8 a.m. GMT for everyone back in the UK. It will be shown on terrestrial television in the UK on Channel 4. And if you have Sky Sports, it will be on Sky Sports Cricket. I will be doing a watch-along for that on Hanno's Coach's Corner channel. I will probably start the coverage at about maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes before the match starts, maybe even an hour. I would love to get some cricket fans or anyone to come on in and have their say. Please do join in, and that's pretty much my schedule. I'm so glad that Arsenal are playing tonight, because if they were to clash with that, it would be difficult. But anyway, I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm excited to see England doing well, and if England win, they will hold both limited overs cricket trophies, world trophies that is, at the same time. So I am really, really excited for that.
Yeah, no, I'll be tuning into Hanno's Corner, Coach. I'll be tuning into that. I love your commentating. You're a bleeding legend at it. I'll try. Yeah, you have to teach me the stuff. Tomorrow, talk me through it. I'll probably watch it on the telly as well. Like, you know what I mean? And you can talk me through it.
Yeah, I don't know if Satanta will be broadcasting that though, mate.
No, we get Sky. Come here. Manny, it's Del Boy here. I can get any fucking channel you want. You know what I mean? And there was some bleeding clown put in the comments there, a dating site and all. Are you for real? Seriously, on my bleeding channel? Fucking do me a favour, will you?
Yeah. Out you go. So Sky Sports
exactly,
Cricket, you can catch it. And to those who don't have Sky, it'll be broadcast on Channel 4. I'm looking forward to it. I need to get Kenny Ken to come on because he can teach you a lot more about the game than I ever could.
And look, we leave it at that there. Thanks a million, everyone, and everyone in the comments as well. Peace out. Respect you all, and have a great evening, everyone. Manny, Warren, really appreciate you coming on again. Two absolute legends. Everyone,